Greetings, spirit, friends, and family. Welcome to another reading of Tea and Tarot. Today we are starting with a lovely, lovely little black tea. And our groups today are going to be organized by the magic of the trees. We have Hawthorne, we have Juniper, and we have the Bristlecone Pine, all three of which have amazing lore and myth that surround them and wonderful healing properties. So just take a few minutes and decide which one that you would like to, which group you would like to join today. Hello, lovely Hawthorne group. As many of you know, you picked a very magic tree indeed. Hawthorne is also a tree of protection. It's actually said to protect and mark the underground world or realm of the fairies. As many of you know, Hawthorne also has these wonderful, lovely red berries, and those berries have been used for just thousands of years for strengthening the heart. So I don't know if the realm of fairies and strengthening the heart speaks to you, but maybe you want to keep that in mind as we roll forward with your reading. I'm going to get started here with some tarot to give us some context of what's going to be going on for you in September. Let's see here. Okay. Let's get three. Maybe those two. Okay. Let's see what's happening. Right. We have the King of Stones, the Five of Arrows, and we have the Five of Vessels. Okay. Here's what we know. The King of Stones. The King of Stones is, could be speaking about a person that is in your realm, a very practical person, a person that can offer maybe a slightly more traditional look on life, definitely a very practical look on life, has the power and means and the material resources necessary in which to manifest things in the world. The King of Stones, of course, is the King of Pentacles in a traditional tarot deck, and it's part of your pack. Somebody in your world that may be calling to you to get a little bit more practical about things. It can also be talking about an aspect that is going to be coming up for you. And as things shift for us coming into September, we're going to be looking at, astrologically speaking, we're going to be looking at the ability to manifest things and to move forward with things in a practical way. That's followed by the Five of Arrows. And as you can see, there's definitely some frustration going on. Maybe you have been trying to bring a new practice into your life. I'm thinking in a much broader term here, and where the Hawthorne is concerned, this idea, these two paired together especially, there's definitely a magical element that is happening in what's going on with you right now. And at the same time, there is someone or something that is calling out to give you some protection. And you might be frustrated about that. Sometimes when we are offered protection in life, sometimes when people were like, oh, I'm doing this for, your own good, or I'm doing this to help you. Sometimes that's not well received. And I could see where there might be some frustrating times coming up for you where this this aspect is concerned. However, I love that it ends over here. This line ends in the wonderful card of ecstasy. And the Five of Wands, you're just loving what you're doing. You're loving, maybe it speaks to the fact that you're loving the flow of what you're doing. You're loving the creative process of what you're doing. You're enjoying it so much that it's leading to this, like these moments of ecstasy. And you could be getting frustrated with the more practical aspects that have to do when you tend something to bring it about in the material realm of things. We can manifest things in the way that we bring them from thought into being, or from our imagination into being. And it does take some work in this worldly realm to make that happen. And I'm seeing, dear Hawthorne group, that this might be slightly frustrating to you. But let's get a little more information. I'm going to grab the Baba Yaga Lenormand. See what the Yaga in her chicken-legged hut has to say to us here. All right. Well, we'll just take that one as card number 1. Card number 2, and take one from the middle. Card number 3. Okay. All right, here we go. Hawthorne group, we have the Anchor. We have the Little Doll, also known as the Woman, the card of the Woman in a traditional Lenormand deck. And, oh my, we have, what is it? Oh yes, this is a whip. Somebody's getting whooped. Whip, the whip. Okay. So, all in all, so far, it's a really good reading. I mean, even though you do have some frustration going on, and with the whip card, I'm seeing the whip card. Let's just start with that, because since it's at the end of this line, and the frustration is sitting towards the end of their first line. The whip card is a card of struggle. It could be a card of conflict. It could be that you're coming into conflict with, this kind of, I did first read that as a person, but now I'm kind of seeing this as instead of a person, I'm seeing this definitely as this struggle within yourself of having to do these worldly things. You're all in the flow over here. You're in the moment. You are feeling really good about what you're doing. And then you're saddled with also all of the particulars, and you're having to manifest this on your own. Like you're having to maybe learn new aspects of how to make this project or business or thing that you are working on take off, and that is frustrating you, and you're really struggling with it. It's coming. The Anchor card goes really well with the King of Stones. It's the card of stability. It can be the card of material stability as well, not just emotional stability. So you're coming from a good place. You've got a background in this, and maybe you felt like this might be something that you wanted to get away from. However, like I said before, to manifest these things in the world, it does take this kind of energy to do it. It does take this kind of energy. It takes that earth energy to materialize something into being. So maybe working with some earth energy as you're going forward might help you to root into this idea. This is the card. This card comes up a lot. This is the card of the Woman. It can represent you. It doesn't have to be, I always read this as a female presenting person. In the traditional deck, of course, which was made in the 1800s, it was like the woman and the man. But here on Tea&Tarot, we call this the female presenting person, and it's the card of intuition. I've told this story before. In the story of, these are the Baba Yaga cards, and in the story of Baba Yaga and Vasilisa, at the beginning of the story, Vasilisa is a child, and she's sitting by her dying mother's bedside, and her mother reaches in and gives her this little doll. And she says, "Oh, Vasilisa, dear Vasilisa, I can only leave you this. Keep it in your pocket. And whenever you need help, you ask for the little doll's help, and the little doll will help you." And throughout the story, all kinds of things happen to Vasilisa. And she would always reach into her pocket, and she would give the little doll little food, little bread, a little bit of water. She would feed her doll. And the little doll would help her in monumental tasks. So I'm seeing with all of these, this kind of feeling of there are these tasks that need to be done in the world so that this idea that you have, this magic that you have, this something that is sitting within the realm of maybe the realm of creativity and imagination still percolating for you to push this forward and manifest this into a material being. You're going to feel a little bit frustrated, but I feel like the cards are saying, remember to feed your little doll. Remember that you have to go with your intuition and to let your inner strength help you. If you live in the realm of frustration and the realm of struggle, that's just going to zap all your energy. That's going to take all your energy away, right? And if instead you decide that you're going to come from a place of inner strength and know that you have the resources in which to do that, you're going to feel much more, you're going to have the ability to feel that ecstasy. You can't, it's like Maslow's pyramid, right? You have to have your, we should rewrite that pyramid in a spiritual context. But basically, you have to have these certain things in place in order for you to feel that awe, to feel that, to get to that wonderful feeling of elation, that feeling of spiritual alignment. Okay, so we're going to reach for another tarot deck and pull a couple more cards. Oh, okay. Okay, let's just grab two cards. There's another one sticking out here at the bottom. Oof, I'm going to put this down here. Trying a different layout style here. Make sure we get everything on the scene so that you can take a look at it. All right, what do we have? We have the Emperor, and we have the Nine of Cups. All right, the Emperor and the Nine of Cups. You know, we have one more spot over here. I'm going to draw, I felt like 3 is a much better number than 2. So I'm going to draw one more of these folklore cards. And we have the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, dear Hawthorns. All right, dear Hawthorns. So with these last 3 cards, we have the Emperor card. Wonderful card for you to get. It's interesting that you have the King of Stones and you have the Anchor, and then you have the Emperor. You know, you've got a lot of power, a lot of structure here, kind of this strong energy in this particular deck. The Emperor card is one that comes from a figure that comes from Buddhism, and he's got a sword in one hand and a rope in another, and it's his job to bind demons. Okay, and he is also a guide. He's known to be a guide for the deceased, and he is a card of immovable faith. Immovable faith. Also, he's got Mars energy, of course. So this is a very, very strong card to get. So whatever you're trying to do, this kind of strength, this kind of a masculine strength paired with this feminine strength, you've got both cards in this reading, which is a wonderful indicator that you do, even though you are struggling with some things where the manifestation of this, bringing something forward into the material world, this might be, I feel like you're definitely having some struggles with this. You've got what it takes to make this happen. You can do this. You can do this for sure. Your other ending two cards too, it just speaks to the absolute success that you're going to be having. You've got, of course, the Nine of Cups here, which is fulfillment and abundance. Remember to have gratitude, of course, that even though you're feeling frustrated, that gratitude is going to be, having a strong gratitude practice is going to help you as you move forward to dissipate some of this struggle and frustration energy, because it is a process. And then that, of course, is followed by the Ten of Pentacles, which is a card of wealth and success. So I would say, all in all, dear Hawthorne group, this magical idea, this magical thing that you are bringing forth into the material realm of things, you've got the strength to do it. You've got the strength. You also have this feminine intuition that's in all of us, no matter what gender you identify with, this intuitive nature that's going to be helping you and anchoring you, this stability. You have this kind of strength and both the strength and both the intuitive nature to bring this forward into the world. And of course, you're feeling a little frustrated. Of course, when you're doing things out in the world and you're trying to make things manifest, it's going to have some frustration with it. We all feel that. And I would say you feel so good about what you're doing. It brings you so much joy, so much ecstasy that you know it's right. There is no debating it. This is what you're supposed to be doing in the world. And these two cards of success and abundance and wealth that end you in this spread, I can only say that this is a very positive and fortuitous time in September for you to do this. So, dear Hawthorne group, feel free, give me a thumbs up and add a comment in below, maybe to talk a little bit about how these cards might be, how the spread might be dealing with something that you've got going on in your life. We'd love for you to join the conversation or even start the conversation. And I just want to say good luck to you in September, and I look forward to hearing from you and see how things are manifesting. All right, you pick the Juniper. I just love the juniper. It has such an amazing smell. Junipers and a lot of lore have to do with being the gatekeeper between the two realms, between the realm of the world and the realm of the spirit. It used to be in some places that they would place gifts at the foot of the juniper tree to honor local nature deities. So don't know if that speaks to you at all, but something maybe to keep in mind here. And we'll just place this up here as we go on with our reading. Okay, we're going to draw some tarot cards for you. See what's going on. Woohoo! See what's going on in September. And 3 just popped right out. 3 is a really good number. We all love the number 3, so we're just going to go with these guys. All right, let's see what's going on. We have the King of Swords. Oh, look at that. Tough. we have the King of Wands. Two kings in your spread. Oh, dear Juniper. And we have the Knight of Wands. Oh, you are going to have a busy, busy September indeed. Oh my gosh. Swords, King of Swords, King of Wands, Knight of Wands. Woo! Okay, Juniper. I just have to say, these are some pretty powerful cards, especially paired with the Juniper and paired with this idea that maybe you have one foot in both realms, one in the spirit realm and one in our material earthly realm, and something that most of us strive to do. So let's start with the King of Swords. Knowledge, truth, clarity, of course, your keywords. This is Thoth, and Thoth is an Egyptian god of magic and wisdom and knowledge. He's also said to have invented writing. As you can tell, he's got this head of an ibis. He's sometimes pictured with the head of baboon, but he's known to be the scribe of the gods and the inventor, like I said, the inventor of language, written language. He was, in the Egyptian realm, he was said to have invented the hieroglyphs. He's also a god of philosophy and a god of law. And he is known to be a judge, like to settle disputes, very level-headed. So drawing Thoth is a is a very powerful way to start your reading. And that, of course, is followed by the King of Wands. Now, wands are fire. Swords are air, wands are fire. So having this directly follow, two wands follow two cards of fire, follow a card of air. There's definitely some manifestation happening in your realm of things. And with the King of Wands, there's like a lot of inspiration and leadership qualities that are coming about. Now, this is a djinn. Like, can you see him? He's coming out of this wonderful, wonderful teapot, which I appreciate very much. And tells of a djinn, they are said to live all around us, the jinn. And they sometimes show themselves and manifest to us. They live for thousands and thousands. And some of them, of course, the most famous jinns, like in the story of Aladdin, of course, Aladdin's lamp there was a jinn imprisoned in there. But not all of them are imprisoned, of course. Not all of them live in vessels. So not only can they live for thousands of years, but these magical powers can be used to aid us. They can all, however, I have to say, jinns can also be tricksters. So even though that you have this kind of this strong magical force paired with the Juniper coming out to aid you, I would just say, make sure that you are tapping into this other side of yourself and making sure that all the energy that's coming forth is what you want to happen. And that, of course, is followed by the Knight of Wands, which is all of the energy that it's going to take to make this. The Knight of Wands does the King of Wands bidding, right? The Knight of Wands is going forward into the world, and with a lot of energy. The Knight of Wands is also indicating an adventure coming forward, and this kind of great courage that it takes to go on to this adventure. And look, it is a lovely, lovely unicorn. Oh. How can we not all like unicorns? Symbols of grace and purity, and their horns, of course, were said to have magical healing properties. Very elusive creatures, and creatures that only, of course, as you know, in the lore of the unicorn, it only makes itself seen to very young maidens. So they're cards of children's imagination, but also cards of innocence. So there's some kind of innocence and naivete going forward with this particular project or adventure that you're going to be going on. And we're going to get a little more information. I'm going to reach for the Baba Yaga Lenormand deck. See what we've got going on here. Got quite a few cards that are just kind of coming out. I was just going to do 3, but it looks like, yeah, let's just do 3. Let's just do 3. We're going to stick with the triad here. Okay, what do we have? We have, ooh, the Crossroads. Ha! We have a description card. Well, let's just pick another one, shall we? Another description card. Wow. That's interesting. I did not take out, these are the little cards that talk about the meanings of each. In this particular deck, they are actually printed on cards. Let's try this one. Oh my God. Okay, guys, I'm just going to say, we're just gonna leave this here because that's weird. There's only, I don't know, 5, maybe 4 or 5 of these in the whole deck. I accidentally left them in, and each and every time I pulled the description cards. Okay, so we're just going to say you're playing with the whole deck here. There's whatever you're doing, you're playing with the entire deck. Every aspect of your life is going on here. That's how I'm going to read this. I'm not going to pick another card. I'm just going to leave this as the descriptors. Okay. And the last card is the dog, which, wonderful card of loyalty. Okay. Okay, I'm going to pull a few more tarot cards on this one. Ah! No one wants to come out and play. What else do we have? Oh, maybe this one. One more. Give us one more here. Okay, here we go. So we've got balance. We've got the 7 of stones. And we've got the 4 of bows. Okay. So I'm seeing that whatever's coming up for you, it's gonna be a pretty awesome time for you. A very celebratory time, a time of gathering, a time of calling in your tribe and really letting loose and having some whatever is happening for you is going to take you into this feeling of elation and celebration. Okay. It's not without its toll, however. I would say to be very careful as you're going forward. And remember that to keep this balance, I find that these 2 images, especially, I'm going back up here to the juniper tree. And if you see on one side of the juniper, it's different than the other side. However, there is a balance that's happening, which is creating the coming together of these 2 things is opening the threshold. Okay. And that's how the other world is available to you, that there is this threshold. And that's going to happen when there is balance in your life. If you're constantly giving out energy, if you're constantly giving everything that you are, which it's showing that a lot of energy is happening with this. A lot of magic is coming forward in order to have this manifest in the world. You've just got to remember not to wear yourself out, and that it could cause you to go to a place where you're going to need to rest up. If you can catch yourself before that happens, this process altogether is going to be a very healing process for you. So I would just say, make sure that you realize and you remember that it takes balance in what you are doing in the world, and that you got to have that balance in your life in order to reach this state. Okay, so dear Juniper group, got a lot of magic. You've got the energy of both Jinn and the King of Swords, which is Thoth in this deck. This might have to do with some writing. There's, like, literally speaking, since Thoth is the inventor of writing and of is the scribe of the gods, and we got these cards with writing all over them. I'm thinking this has to do with writing. Like writing something down and just going into it without any preconceived notions, just putting all of your energy into this writing of something, and go at it in a very innocent and naive way, like a child would. And the magic will reveal itself to you. You're at a crossroads now. Now is the time to make this choice that this is what you're going to do. Be very faithful to the idea once you choose it. And then remember that it's going to take balance in life. Anytime you get two powerful cards like this and the realm between the worlds opens, this threshold opens to you, you're going to be using a lot of energy. Just remember to keep your life balanced, dear Junipers, and you're going to have some celebration coming your way. As always, I would love to hear how this relates to your life. Leave us a comment below and kick us off on some interesting conversation about tarot and personal growth. And good luck on your journey. It looks like you've got some interesting stuff coming up. And I'll see you next time. Bristlecone Pine group. Oh, what amazing creatures bristlecone pines are. Bristlecone pines are, I've been to 2 different groves. I've sought these guys out in my life. They are actually the oldest single living organism in the world. Is a bristlecone pine, and it lives in the Methuselah Grove in California, kind of near the Death Valley region before you get there. Of course, at a very high elevation. The hike is not for the faint of heart, but I'm going to tell you is absolutely worth it. Bristlecone pine deals with longevity, deals with persistence. They can survive in very harsh conditions. They thrive. That's where they live, in these very harsh conditions, like I said, at a very, very high altitude. So if that speaks to you at all, maybe keep those things in mind as we go forward. And we're just going to move lovely bristlecone pine up here and draw a few cards. All right, let's see here. Going to get a little information about that just jumped right up about your September reading. These 2 are wanting to come as well. All right. Okay, let's see, dear bristlecones, what we have in store during September. Oh, we have the Fool. We have the Page of Pentacles. And we have the Star. Oh, amazing cards. Great cards. Cards that pair very, very well with this bristlecone pine. Okay. Okay, bristlecone. You've got it all started with the Fool. Whoops. Making a mess here. But not really, because you, dearies, are on a new adventure. I love that this deck has the Fool pictured, and so in American folklore there is something called the jackalope, and as you can tell, it is a rabbit that has antlers, and they're very innocent creatures and very whimsical. And that's exactly what this new beginning is all about for you. You're going at something in a way of just kind of stepping into it. You've got something new on the horizon, something brand new, which is an interesting kind of polar opposite to the Bristlecone Pine. So you've got some polarities happening, which I always find interesting in a spread. That is followed by the Page of Pentacles. This is a lovely creature here with the body and tail of a lion and the head of a Chinese dragon. These are cards of this card represents responsibility and ambition. I'd say whatever this new thing is that you're doing, it all has to do with seeking and this manifesting of something. Also, in stories about these creatures, they're said to sense like precious items and treasures and then bring them back to their masters. So I would say that you're on a treasure hunt on your new adventure, and you're feeling very, very, very ambitious about it. And that is directly followed by the Darling Dear Star. You got a lot of purpose here behind this idea. You in the star in this deck is represented by Inanna, and later called Ishtar, of course. And she's a goddess of love, also a goddess of fertility. She has been a little more fierce than that in some representations, but in this particular one, I think that there's a lot of hope and purpose going on. That's how I'm going to read this, especially in this particular spread, with you starting down this path, this new adventure, and having this wonderful creature that seeks out treasure and fortune with you in your journey, that you've got a lot of ambition, a lot of purpose happening with whatever you're starting here. And then that paired with the Bristlecone Pine has to do with the longevity of it. It's something that, yes, you are at the very beginning of this, dear Bristlecone Pine group, and I would say that this is something that will last maybe even for the rest of your life. So let's get a little more information about that. We're going to reach for our Baba Yaga Lenormand deck. Okay, let's see. We've got one, we've got two, and then let's take this one. We've got three. Let's see what the Yaga has to say. We've got struggle. I have to say that this came up in group 1 too, this particular card. The whip. That's also known as the whip card in the traditional Lenormand deck, which I love this interpretation. I think somebody's getting whooped. We have the Tower. And oh my gosh, look, we have the star. We have the star directly below the star. So, that is definitely a wonderful indication that even though you're going to be dealing with some stuff, a little bit of struggle with this, then there's really nothing to worry about. You have 2 stars in your reading. 2 stars coupled with a mythological creature that is helping you find treasure. So when you see this whip card, let me just say you might be struggling, and I think maybe, so I'm thinking about these 2 cards together, and I'm definitely seeing that sometimes the Tower card has to do with authority, right? However, in other, it can also be interpreted as isolation. I'm sensing that there has been some maybe perhaps self-inflicted isolation for you. And, just think about Rapunzel in her tower, right? That wasn't self-inflicted, of course, but a lot of times when we isolate ourselves and, it's something that's prevalent, I think, now more than ever, this kind of feeling of aloneness and this feeling of isolation. And this has been something that you've really struggled with. But you're coming out of this into hope and possibility and positivity. So coming out of the struggle, coming out of isolation, this feeling of being alone, into a new path of hope and possibility. And on this search, I'm just going back to this wonderful card that's on the search with your little magical creature that's going to help you find treasure. And the fact that, again, pointing out the Bristlecone Pine, this is going to be something that's going to follow you. I really think, dear Bristlecone Pine group, that this is going to be in your past. These cards, these things are going to be in your past. And this hope and possibility is something that this new way of being is something that's going to follow you for the rest of your life. Let's get a little more information here. I'm going to reach for another. Whoop. Okay. Her tarot deck. Just going to go with that since she popped right out. Let's see what we've got going on. Get a little more info. 3 last cards here, and whoop, we've got the Page of Arrows, which is the little wren. Oh, we've got the 3 of Vessels. And we've got the card of Home, 10 of Stones. What a wonderful way. What 3 wonderful cards to end this spread. So we've got the Page of Arrows, and you see this lovely little wren kind of sitting on the branch and studying something very hard. And I am thinking that whatever this new aspect, this new thing that is about to become who you are in your life, with these wonderful, strong cards, this new adventure that you're going on, it's something that you've been thinking about for a long time, and you've really done your due diligence of studying the aspects of it and what that might bring, and how you might go about it. And wonderful card in the middle. Here we've got the 3 of Vessels, and it's just this card of absolute and total joy, this card of celebration, this card of coming together. So there's something definitely coming together for you. I also see that there are more people coming into your life. There's more. There's going to be a lot of activity and more people coming in, and you're going to go from this kind of solitary thinking about things and struggling a bit with your how you've isolated yourself, and maybe it was something very necessary for you to think about all the different aspects of this new adventure and this new journey that you're about to embark on. And you're going to come out of that, and you're going to be celebrating and having joy, but not just by yourself, coming together with other people. And this joy, I would also say, remember that do not be afraid of it. Joy is a very rapturous feeling, and something that sweeps us away. You see these wonderful 3 sandhill cranes. They're just totally elated and enjoying, and don't be afraid of that. Embrace it. Embrace the joy. All emotions or all things in life are cyclical in nature, and sometimes I feel like we fear, and that fear might have been a little bit of your isolation, that perhaps like these happy moments, these joyous moments are fleeting moments. And then I would say that if you fear something, that fear sweeps away and makes any chance that this joy would happen, it blocks it. The fear will keep you isolated. So don't be afraid of it. Let yourself go into this, meet people, find your new home, find your new way of being. This is going to bring you many moments of joy. And when you're in that joy, feel every moment of it, because it will come around again, and we are meant to experience it in the moment. Okay? And it's going to bring you home. It is going to bring you home. And in this sense, the sense of home can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. It can mean like where you put your guitar down. It could mean people. It could mean a certain community. That feeling of being at home, you haven't had that feeling. You've been away from that feeling for a very long time. So, dear Bristlecone Pine group, this is a wonderful spread. This spread really warms my heart. It's just showing you coming out of this aloneness, this lonely feeling, this struggle with isolation, and you're coming into this new way of being, something that's going to bring you great fortune and treasure. And that fortune and treasure I'm seeing is community and relationship. And there's great positive hope and potential coming with that. You've got the star twice. This star is beaming down to you with light that is millions of years old. You've got some ancient energies working for you here with the bristlecone on the earthly realm and the star in the cosmic realm. And these things are telling you, giving you hope, following that pole star, following that energy of hope and possibility and positivity is bringing you into a new way of being. You've thought about it for a long time, dear Bristlecone Pine group, and now is the time to find that new home, find that community. It could mean even a literal move. And just remember that this is something that's going to last you, I'm going to say, for the rest of your life. It's going to have longevity to it, and embrace it. Okay, dear Bristlecone Pine, that's it for today. And as always, I would appreciate any kind of comment. Make sure to like and subscribe. And we have readings 3 times a week here at Tea&Tarot. And good luck on this new journey. Like I said, it just warms my heart. See you next time.